Hi guys, it's Miss Martin. Today for our homework and for our classwork, we subtracted with mixed numbers and we had two different methods. So today I'm going to show you both methods, okay? So there are rules for both and you can kind of see all the steps going here. The first two steps are shared. The last couple of steps are the ones where the methods will split. So you're going to see all of that today. All right, let me annotate. Okay, so let's start with this one. Okay, so over here, this method right here is called the regrouping method. Regrouping method. Sorry, it's a little sloppy, but you get the idea. Okay, so regrouping, if you guys remember, it's if there's more on the floor, we go next door and grab, it used to be a 10, this time we're gonna grab a whole fraction, okay? And we're gonna see that example in just a moment. So, our question says 4 1/2 minus 3 5/6. All right, so what I'm gonna do first, always, step one, lowest common denominator, right? So step one, we have the denominators 2 and 6. Well, our lowest common denominator, hopefully you guys noticed that 2 can be turned into 6, right? I can actually just multiply it by 3. So 6 is going to be our lowest common denominator, all right? So what you're gonna see on both sides, I'll write it on both sides just so that we can keep up. What you're gonna see is that we get to keep this fraction because it's already in 6, and we're only gonna have to write an equivalent fraction for the other fraction. So super easy. When we're writing equivalent fractions, the first thing we have to remember is that 4 1/2 minus, I like to stack mine because I can see it easier. And then as we change them, our whole numbers are going to stay the same, remember. Oh, sorry, not 4, 3. So whole numbers stay the same, and this one gets to stay the same because we're already in 6. 5, 6, right? 3 and 5, 6. This one we do need to change. So here's that second step, right? Writing the equivalent fractions with a common denominator. So now, okay, well, what did we multiply by? Well, we know we multiplied by 3, right? Because that's the only way that we got that common denominator of 6. And we remember that from finding our least common denominator, that little trick that we do. Okay, so then whatever we do to the bottom, got to do to the top. So 1 times 3, 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 3 is 3. And we know that that is also true because 3 is half of 6, and our equivalent fraction was 1/2, right? So it's a little backup proof. So 4 and 3, 6 minus, right? Remember, we're subtracting 3 and 5, 6. Okay, now when we get here, our next step is to subtract, right? Well, we've got 3, 6 minus 5, 6. And your brain should be going, woo, 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 woo. We can't do it, right? If I only have 3, I can't take away 5. I don't have enough. So if you are going to regroup, your brain says, hey, if there's more on the floor, go next door and grab not 10, grab a whole fraction, right? What does that mean, Miss Martin? Well, a whole fraction is when the numerator and the denominator are the same number. Now we have to use our common denominator, right? Because we can't change that now. Now that we have it, we can't change it. So we know our denominator is going to be 6. So we're going to go next door. Let me change my color so you can see our move, right? Here's our change. So we've got a line between our fraction and that. We're going next door. So like normal, when we go next door, it goes down 1. We take away 1. So that 4 is going to become a 3. Now when we come back, remember we're adding a whole fraction. And it has to have the denominator 6. So a whole fraction denominator matches the numerator, which means our numerator is also going to have to be 6, right? There's our whole fraction. And that's going to give us an improper fraction, which you're like, hey, we can't do that. We have to. It's the only way that we can subtract right now, okay? Because our regular fraction was not enough. So, sorry. What we're going to do is, remember, add the numerators and our denominator stays the same. So we're still in 6, but 3 plus 6 Well, that's 9, okay? Now we're done with this. I'm only crossing it out because I don't want to try and subtract from that because we don't need it anymore. We're going to use 9 6. Well, I can do 9 6 minus 5 6. I can do that now. So now we're just going to subtract. Well, my denominator stays the same, and 9 minus 5, well, that's 4. And then I look at my whole numbers and I say, well, 3 minus 3, 0. I don't even have to write anything, right? Easy peasy. So this is an answer that will get you the points on your IAR. It'll get you all the points, right? We don't have to simplify. If you would like to, you'll notice that both of these numbers are divisible by 2. They're multiples of 2. So I can divide both of them by 2, and I can see that 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. I didn't add that as a step down here because, again, you don't have to do it. This is just the simplified answer, but you don't have to have it. 4 6 will get you there, all right, on your homework and on your IAR test. So you should be good. Now we're going to switch over and we're going to show the other method, which is going to be what I like to call, and my friends will know, I like to call it around the world. Around the world, and you'll see why in just a second. But just to be clear, this method is it does involve improper fractions, where all of their fractions are improper fractions. Okay, so I'm just going to note that on the side. Okay, now again, we've already got those first 2 steps covered, right? Our least common denominator was 6, so you're going to see me do that right here. 4 and 1/2, and then subtract 3 and 5 6, right? Well, we're gonna change both of those, but we don't have to. 3 and 5 6 gets to stay the same. 3 and 5 6, because it already is in 6, right? Now here, remember, we're gonna have to multiply, and we remember we multiplied by 3. This part is just the same. I'm just repeating it on this side. Okay, so our whole number stays 4, and then our equivalent fraction is going to be 2 times 3 is 6, got my common denominator, and 1 times 3 is 3. So these 2 steps should be the same. You're going to notice that either way, these 2 steps are the same. We're still subtracting. I just wanted to add that. Okay, now when we're here, if you are using the around the world method, here is what we do next, all right? So I am going to change my color. Sorry, I don't know why I used that other color, but it's fine. So our next step, we are going to use around the world. So that means we take the whole number, we multiply it by the denominator, and we add the numerator. And then we're just going to put it over the same denominator. So here's what we're going to see. Whole number, which is 4, multiply the denominator times 6, right? Times 6. So we've gone down, and now we're going to come up and around, and we're going to add the numerator. So plus 3. And all of that goes over the same denominator, okay? And our denominator was 6, so we're just going to keep it, okay? Now we can start solving. 4 times 6, hopefully you already said that. Yeah, that's 24. And 24 plus 3, well, that is 27 over 6, right? Okay, first one already made into an improper fraction. 1 done, next one to go. Okay, so remember we're going to go down and around the world. So whole number, 3, times denominator, 6, plus numerator, plus 5. All right, and we're going to put all of that over that same denominator, which again is still 6, has not changed. All right, so now let's start. 3 times 6. Hopefully you remember that's 18. Excellent. And then 18 plus 5, right? Well, what's 18 plus 5? You can count up. It's going to give us 23. 23. And then we keep our denominator, right, over 6. So now we've got these two. Always remember that we're still subtracting. 27 6 minus 23 6. Well, our answer, we're going to subtract, is still going to be 6, right? Our denominator doesn't change when we're subtracting, but we just have to say, okay, what's 27 minus 23? you have a hard time and you don't want to rewrite it, count up, right? 23 goes in our brain, and then we just count till we get to 27. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 4, right? The difference is going to be 4. So I can put that here. And there is no extra. Now, this is not an improper fraction, but if you do get an improper fraction when you get to your answer, you will have to turn it back into a mixed number, okay? In your homework, you might not have to do that on your IAR test. However, in your homework, I will tell you that you will have to turn it back into a mixed number. And if you don't remember how to do that, please watch the video from last night because it'll help you. I will make a video about that soon. I just haven't gotten around to it. I apologize. All right. And then again, this is your final answer. If you want, you can simplify and it would look just like this. We would divide by 2, divide by 2, and we would get 2/3. Okay. So there we have it. That's our simplified answer. But again, you don't have to do it. That is 2 ways to solve a subtraction problem when you don't have enough in your fraction, okay? But make sure you get to the equivalent fractions first with the common denominator in order to do that. We did talk about that today. Okay, hopefully this has helped. Good luck on your homework tonight. It's just the one sheet, page 11 in live worksheets, all right? It is the homework page from chapter 6, lesson 7, 6.7. All right, good luck, friends. Email me if you have questions, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.